And we've started microcycle 4, back at it again with the second last heavy squat session for this block. Not going to do a great deal of additional work now, so prioritizing the heavy stuff over the volume stuff. So the only real thing I'm doing today is potentiating. Just, it's great for joint health and everything, and getting the body ready to move some big weight. So I'm going to be looking at squatting 260, 265 for a triple today. And that is the plan. So, should be right. Didn't have the best night's sleep, but I think we can still manage it. So yeah, let's give it a go. I've tackled today's potentiation in a different sense, where I've done 5 exercises instead of my standard 3, with varying rep schemes depending on how my body is. So, start with reverse hyper, really good for the erectors, glutes, hamstrings, getting that posterior chain nice and warm. Moving forward to band pull aparts and band around the worlds. Band pull aparts, get that upper back to start getting a little bit warmer, get some blood flow there. And the around the worlds is because I've got some pretty stiff shoulders. So I find it's a really good way of mobilizing my pec without just going into a static stretch and taking it through a full range. Noting that when we get on the bar, there's a lot of emphasis on that external rotation through our humerus. And if your pec's really tight, it makes that quite difficult. And then the flow and effects of that is if you do it too much, you might find you get your golfer's elbow. Band and hamstrings, obviously. And if we want the back, we want the front. So that's where the sissy squats come in. Again, that's just fantastic for that quad and patella tendon health. And as I'll continue to reiterate, you don't have to dive bomb straight into full range. You can start with, pardon me, 30, 40 degrees, work your way down to 90 degrees, then work your way past 90 degrees, depending on how comfortable you are and how many reps you are willing to do. Because white tissue requires quite a bit of blood flow for it to start feeling good. So that's a big reason why I put those sissy squats in. And it's also a really good diagnostic at the start of my session. I can use the sissy squats to gauge at what point I'll probably put wraps on, or knee sleeves if I'm using knee sleeves. And I was feeling a bit bitey just by doing sissy squats, so I might put wraps on a little bit earlier today to help the knees out a bit, because there's not a lot of cartilage on them these days. So yes, that's my potentiation today. 5 exercises instead of 3. Get that full body warm up essentially with light enough load that I am still getting benefit through mainly my tendons and ligament and joints, which is a big part of it, which is again why Matt Wenning preaches his Wenning warm-ups. So yeah, on to some squats. So yeah, rehearsing the competition jumps today, and that looks like a 70, 120, 170, 220. So we've just gone from 170 to 220, about to hit that. So as I was talking before about how sissy squats are a good gauge for how my knees are tracking, I was definitely on the money again. That 170 was feeling bitey, so typically if I want to add that extra set for the conditioning, you can call that conditioning of triples, I'll do a 170, 200, 220, and then work up in 20 kilo jumps there. But I'm still tossing up what my opener is going to be, so I want to try and get to my opener in as few sets or reps as possible, because comp day I just pull singles or squat singles or whatever. It's all singles, and comp day there's no cardio aspect to it, which is why it's got me absolutely flabbergasted when people are like, comp day nutrition for powerlifting is you need all these carbs and all this stuff. It's like, you just need something to make you feel full without throwing up, and some water and some electrolytes. It's not that hard. You don't burn that many calories doing singles. So that's the world according to me, of course. I'm happy again. Always have to debate these sort of things and my opinions, but you don't need a lot of food on comp day. It's a couple of hours of work, and people probably go to the gym and do hours and hours of work and maybe consume some sort of carb drink in a 2-3 hour session. It's essentially that. They just don't like being hungry. So yeah, hit 220, they'll have reps on for that one. Should move fairly well, and then likely go 250 after that. And depending on how that feels to determine how heavy I go for my last set. So yeah, a lot of what ifs today. It's good to have an idea, but also stay flexible with your plan. Second last heavy squat session for this block done. I'm glad I went back to the drawing board and added in another squat session. That 265 felt pretty good. Might have skirted depth a little bit in the video, but the best way to hit depth is to add more weight. So that'll be the next session, add a bit more weight, which will be my opener for a triple. Or maybe just over my opener for a triple, because I would like to have the ability to have another go at 300 this year. I haven't touched anything remotely close. Oh, sorry. I attempted 290 at the qualifier earlier this year. That's the closest I've come to that 300 again. So that's my goal, is to go and get that 3. I reckon that'd be fantastic if I get that. So everything's moving really well, and 265 for a triple isn't that far off 300 on the theoretical ones anyway. So yeah, feels good. Back in here for the heavy upper, one of the last ones I'm doing for this block. According to the old calculator, it's meant to be 165 today, so I'm hopeful that it works out. So yeah, but in the morning, I got to watch Ollie, one of the guys I coach, compete in his first powerlifting comp. He did quite well, so it's almost like a proud dad moment, but without being related, because, well, their hair would give it away in an instant. So PR to squat, equal his bench. Didn't quite get the dream total he's after, but that's okay. It just means he has to do it again next time. So already lining up the next one, I think. So let's get after this heavy bench tonight, and hopefully I don't crush myself. So Ollie's, I don't know if Ollie's made the wise decision to come and stay at my house tonight, but he's watching me do some tricep extensions, which will be 50 kilos next set. And yeah, he's having a sook. He's like, how are you doing 50 kilos? Slightly emasculating, I think. But that's okay, like, he's new to the whole thing, so. And he did compete today, so he's allowed to have a whinge. I'll give him that one. But yeah, so managed 165 for 2. Second rep was a grind. First rep felt reasonably good, and I had the thought of I might be able to get 3 at this weight. Wasn't the case, but that happens. Bench has never been my best lift. So I managed 2 at 165. I still have plenty of time that I will address it again and try and get that 3rd, because then that puts me on track for what I want to hit come comp day. So that's the plan at this stage. It is, what is it, the 1st of June today? 2nd. 2nd of June. So 20 days till comp, or 19. I think it's 19. not far away. So back at it again, had a bit of a rest day yesterday. I'm finally at that point in my prep where I can start taking it a little bit slower. So got a volume lower session today, so it's back on the stiff leg deadlifts with the aim of getting closer to that 200 for 10. The other thing is, as I near closer to the end of this prep, comp day is looking really exciting, that if I manage to hit my 3rd attempts for everything, I'm going to be putting up a pretty good total for someone who is drug tested and only been doing powerlifting for the better part of 2 years. So if it all goes to plan, I'll add a significant amount to my total and finally hit a couple of lifts I've been wanting to hit for quite a while for powerlifting and get that recognition on the platform officially, as opposed to just having it as gym lifts. So having that happen is great. I'm not going to put them out there in the wide world yet. I want to keep that close to my chest, so that way if I do it comp day, it'll just make it all that bit sweeter. But yeah, playing the cards today, stiff leg deadlifts, get that to 10, ideally at 200. Yeah, see how we go. Every now and then, I'll find a variation in a block that I've programmed that will drive potential gains with other lifts. And I believe this block has been these snatch grip stiff leg deadlifts that are driving my deadlift up. Because last time I touched deadlifts at 275, felt super comfy. All my sumo singles I've done this block, super comfy. So I think it's safe to say this is that golden exercise this time, that's really driving gains, but it's one I've had to push. So if I remember correctly, in the first block or first microcycle, I hit 180 for 6, microcycle 2, 180 for 10, microcycle 3, figure I've been doing 20 kilo jumps, hit 200 for 6. Tonight, the 180 for 10 felt the best it's felt so far across this training cycle. So I'm quite hopeful for this set I'm about to do at 200. Anything more than 6 means I'm on the right track, I'm recovering well, and it's progressing. If I get to my targeted reps, excuse me, if I get to my targeted reps, that's even better, and the target is 10. I'm quite hopeful that we get 10. I'm definitely gonna get more than 6, I know that much. Talk about spicy. Got it. Positive I counted correctly this time. 200 for 10, snatch grip, stiff legs, with no belt, might I add. That was a tough set. Very tough set, but I got it. Got my 200 for 10. Oh, whoa. Not a bad way to finish off my last lot of stiff legs for this block. I won't touch them again until after competition. Or if I do, it'll be a much lighter weight for a taper leading into comp. But definitely won't be pushing it like that. So I think last time I did the 200, took my hammies a good 3 days, I think. Three days thereabouts, yeah, for them to come 100% again. I dare say it'd be something similar this time. By forcing that adaptation as part of the progressive overload model. Full of gas. Don't know why. Oh, pardon me, sorry. I'm a bit more proper than that. But yeah, so progressive overload. If you don't have it in your program, you need to reevaluate that. There's a few different ways you can progressively overload. Something as simple as keeping rest times down, add more reps, add more weight. There's probably the 3 main ones that you can adjust, or add sets. So overall volume. Probably the simplest ways to progressively overload. As long as you're trying to achieve that in some degree every week or every time your microcycle resets, you're on the right path. The other thing I realised is I didn't do my sumo singles the other night with my squats. I was against the clock. So I got my main work done, which is my squats, but I didn't do my sumos, which I'm using to gauge how my grip development's going. So I really started giving it a lot of attention during my last training cycle for the strongman stuff. And then I've just continued it on. Probably not to the same extent, but it's still been there through this block. I've found grip tends not to deteriorate very quickly. So once you get your benefit, you can then go into maintenance because you're using grip all the time, so it doesn't require the same frequency. It requires a lot of frequency to develop because you're using it all the time, but to maintain it doesn't require the same frequency, so you can back it right off. So yeah, I'm going to go into some sumo singles. I'm not sure how I'm going to go with these because I don't normally do them with absolutely cooked hamstrings and glutes. And you need both for sumo. One way to find out.
It's the time of the light, the wise man at their end.
So as you may have noticed, I've got a belt on this time. I've got 270 on the bar. Give that a whirl. The other thing one of the things I'm testing, there's a couple of things I'm testing. One is grip, so I know where I'm at grip-wise. I find the Verve deadlift bars knurling isn't super aggressive. So normally the bars that I've used on comp day, they've got quite a bit more aggressive knurl. So grip's not so much of an issue. If I can hold onto it here, I'm fine comp day. The other thing I'm testing is 50 kilo jumps. So every set has been a 50 kilo jump, starting at 120, all up to now 270. And I've done that in 4 sets. That's not the weight I want to get to tonight, but I'm just seeing how the nervous system deals with these big jumps, because typically for me, I get to 220, then I'll either go up in 20 kilo increments, or I'll jump to 250, then go 20 kilo increments. It really depends on what my weight is. So tonight, gone straight 270 from 220. See how that feels, see how quick I can pull it is another thing. Hopefully dinner stays down. I did eat fairly early. It was pasta. Probably not the best choice, but I'm single parenting at the moment because Tash is off looking after family. So we do what we have to as a family. Do what you have to, regardless. So yeah, eating with the kids, just keeping it simple for myself. I was planning on doing one more set of sumos, but given the fatigue I'm in from the stiff legs going into this, that last rep I felt my pec and my bicep just grab on a little bit. And given I'm not pulling sumo in comp, there is no real requirement for me to push this any more than I have to. So I'm going to call it there for tonight. I'm going to play it safe. I'm too close to competition to do something stupid. That 270 felt pretty good otherwise. It was just that bicep and the pec. Looking at the footage, I did pull it quite quick. And I've found, for me personally, pulling sumo on a deadlift bar, I don't have anywhere near as much control of the whip as I do when I pull conventional on a deadlift bar. I can pull faster conventionally. And yeah, I definitely feel like I handle the whip better conventional. I'll probably put it down so I can lock in my position better. So yeah, play it safe. Don't be silly. Happy with the speed of that rep, but I'm not doing an injury for the sake of this sport. It's not worth it. Not when I've got other goals this year. I'm particularly doing well at World's Natural Strongman in Ireland in August. That one to me is probably the most important competition of my year this year, because it's making strongman and strongwoman accessible to everyone else, because up until last year it wasn't a tested sport. So now that they have the tested side, I feel that's where the growth is going to be. I feel that's where the layperson will be able to watch it, knowing that they're all natural. I'm not going to be ignorant to the fact that there are probably guys and girls out there that have done PEDs and then come off them long enough to feel as though they can claim that they're natural and compete. I want to hope that everyone's in the same boat as myself, where they've never touched anything. That way it is as fair as it gets, and we can find who is truly the strongest person drug-free. That's the hope. But people are fickle and vain creatures at times, and that temptation's always there, particularly when it comes to strength sports. It can be quite ego-driven. So, to me, that's my important comp for the calendar. It carries the most weight, regardless of where I fall positionally on at that competition, whether I come last or if I come have a podium. I just don't know what it holds yet, or how I'm going to do, to be honest. I've seen some pretty impressive blokes, or guys and girls for that matter. Actually, can't discredit the girls at all. There's some fantastic displays of strength that I've seen from the various qualifiers that have been held around Europe and online, and even going to the in-person one in Australia. There were some very strong people there. So I'm excited. I'd throw my hat in the ring and see how we go. Yeah, get this comp out of the way, then I can really knuckle down the strongman stuff again. Have that fun with my training. Although I have enjoyed this powerlifting prep. It's felt so good, even with the fatigue factor from life and kids and work. Like I said earlier in this session, if all goes to plan, and if I do the right things by the rules, I'm going to walk away with a total that will make me very happy. There's a few close friends that know that number, hopefully they keep it close to their chest. I don't even know if they watch this. So, yeah, I'm excited. We've got some big things coming up. I'm very excited. Safe to say, I've ticked off a couple of things I didn't think I'd do. I'm not sure whether in my lifetime or anytime soon. And those were get recorded on local news and have a interview on the radio with the ABC. Both of which I've done today. And it was all as a result of a article I put into the Army newspaper. Essentially all that article was about was trying to get a bit more recognition for a thing called the Australian Army Strength Sports Association. So that way service members in the Army can lift heavy things in work time and get better in work time and have a bit more protection when competing. And then it snowballed into a story of how I'm doing quite well at this strongman and powerlifting thing, and I'm competing overseas at the world's natural strongman. So it's been a pretty cool experience. Now I've just got to do well. I still want to stand by the comments I've made in relation to world's natural strongman. With that being, for podium, fantastic. But I'm just going there mainly for the experience, because I've never done a 2-day comp before, let alone a international full strongman comp. So it's going to be a valuable experience, which I hope to pass on to people and make me a better coach. Which I guess is the end state with all of this, is just to be the best coach, promoter. I guess one of my goals that I'd love to come to fruition is to be the guy who runs the competitions in Australia one day, when I finally get my own gym. That is the dream. I'm slowly working towards, whilst keeping everything else in check, like a roof over my family's head. So I'm coming into this session incredibly fatigued. The desire to train tonight is not there. But I'm going away for the weekend and I won't have access to a gym of any description. So I have to be here tonight. So instead of doing my usual floor press, I'm still doing a floor press variation, but it's going to have an isometric hold in it, and it's between the two catches, so there's no way I can possibly kill myself, which is a plus. So aim for isometric holds, probably work up to some sort of heavy single, see how it feels along the way. Also, as the train of thought right now, it's going to start with some rep work, just to get used to the movement, because it's one I haven't done for a very long time. So just very familiarise the body with it again, then just keep adding weight. And then after this, go into some volume work, probably with the log, because I find the log has got great transference across pressing of all angles and varieties. Hope I'm feeling good enough that I can hopefully break that 90 kilo barrier for 10 strict. But we'll see how we it's a safe assumption that given my attire, it's finally got to that time of the year where it's actually cold. And I'm only just starting to get warm properly now where I might have to strip off a layer or two. I probably won't. I'm just gonna do some log and some heaves and call it there for the night. That moved okay. Could have been better. That's always the case. You can always be better. This week with Tashaway has been a monster week. Having to get up at 5, which is an hour earlier than I have been lately, to get the rugrats sorted for daycare and stuff. It's been rough. Definitely feeling it into tonight's session with motivation and weight moved. But it's the end of this half of the microcycle. And also concludes my 12th vlog. I hope you've enjoyed it so far for those who are constants in watching it. I would like to devote more time to the edit and that sort of thing. But it's only a finite number of hours in the day. I definitely like sleep. And unfortunately my full-time employment takes up a good chunk of that as well. I'd like this to be my full-time employment one day. That is the goal. But as always, well, I like to say as always, haven't been super consistent with it. If you like what I'm doing, like the video. If you think there's a way I can improve my videos, please leave a comment or send me a message. Either or, I don't mind. I've got my fundraiser down the bottom. Be great if you hit that, or at least share the link. Get some more people donating. I've got a little bit raised so far, which is fantastic. I always appreciate those guys and girls. I don't know who you are. I appreciate every single one of you that are wanting to help me get over there. And that's all I got this week. Try and get some footage of what I do on the weekend. Do something a little bit different for the start of my next vlog. And then it's back to finishing off my taper, then resting for comp. I got something pretty special for me to do on Monday when it comes to the deadlift. It'll be a PR if I get it, just in time for comp, which hopefully will set me up nicely for my goal. Given my fatigue state with the 180 floor press from a dead stop, the fact that I moved it is promising, so I'm on the right track and I think I'm picking the right numbers. But I'll put it all on the line. 21st of June, that's comp day. APL, drug tested nationals at the Brisbane Multicultural Center. It's going to be great.